Frequency. Chapter 4. Scheme.
One thing keeps bugging me about the story,
Vinyl said, as she pulled closed another trash bag. Addie's voice crackled over the radio.
Oh?
The bag was deposited next to a pile of similarly engorged ones.
You say you've got all this cool stuff, magnetic trains, 3D movies, supercomputers that fit into your pocket, even space flights. But there's no magic.
You say that as if it's unusual.
Come on, Addie.
Vinyl began clearing the last corner of the kitchen of debris, grimacing at the stains on the floor.
You really want me to think technology's ever going to get that far?
I know it may seem like science fiction to you,
Addie admitted.
but I assure you, everything I'm saying exists within the bounds of reality. Technology can make it happen.
Bull.
Vinyl opened her fridge and began dumping its contents into the bag, occasionally pausing to sniff at some leftovers, which invariably made her wrinkle her muzzle in disgust.
Sweet Celestial, why did I ever let this place get so bad?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, sorry.
Vinyl stepped back and used her magic to remove a particularly moldy... something. Was it just her imagination, or did it actually move? She covered her muzzle as the thing fell unceremoniously into the waiting bag.
Just bemoaning the state of my kitchen.
You mean you're still cleaning? It's been over an hour!
Vinyl blushed with a lopsided grin, and hurriedly closed the bag.
I'm, almost done with the trash.
Just the trash?
With a small laugh, Vinyl cast one last look through the fridge.
I may have gotten lazy in the past few, years.
The radio was silent, save for the continuous static.
Addie?
Sorry,
She replied.
I'm just trying to think of what your kitchen must look like. Excuse me while I shudder.
Dropping onto the recently cleaned cushion by the table, Vinyl let out a low moan.
And I've still gotta scrub the cabinets, and floors, dust, sweep, mop, wipe down the fridge, that's gonna be fun, and probably replace some of the furniture.
She paused to think on it, then groaned.
Then I've got the rest of my apartment to deal with.
A sigh rose from the speaker.
Vinyl, why'd you ever let it get so bad in the first place?
She considered the question, slowly rising to a proper sitting position.
Because I'm never here. I was always at work, or going to some concert, or something, and when I am here, I'm alone.
She bowed her head.
I hate being alone.
What was that?
Her head jerked up.
Nothing. It's just that... if no pony's going to be here, why bother cleaning up? But I've been here most of the time over the past week.
So now you're constantly looking at it, right?
Vinyl nodded with a grimace.
I just couldn't take it anymore. If I'm gonna stay here and chat with you, I might as well do it while cleaning up.
Well,
Addie took on an indignant tone.
had I known I was being such an inconvenience, I'd have minded my own business.
Oh, you're totally inconvenient.
Vinyl countered with a grin. She struck an elaborate pose, one hoof raised high above her head in imitation of some haughty statue she'd once seen in Canterlot's upper levels.
There I was, minding my own business and enjoying the funk, and suddenly I find myself talking to some disembodied voice and getting ready to scrub molds from my refrigerator. Thanks a lot.
I thought you said you enjoyed the funk.
Vinyl snorted down to a laugh.
One can only take so much funk, no matter how enjoyable.
Truer words were never spoken.
Addie giggled, the sound coming out odd through a rise in the static.
Speaking of questionable art forms, how's that new album coming?
Questionable art forms?
Vinyl leaned her elbow on the table and raised an eyebrow.
Are you saying my music is bad?
Yes.
She attained a deadpan frown.
Way to sugarcoat it, Addie.
Another laugh rose over the static.
I'm just kidding, Vinyl. Your style isn't my cup of tea, but it's far better than the crap I had to listen to over and over again for the past 2 years.
Vinyl sat up and pointed at the speaker.
Aha! Gotcha!
Oh boy.
If you were really out in the cold vacuum of space,
she said with confidence.
how is it that you have any power to listen to that Walkman thing? It's not like there's a store on the next moon to buy batteries, right?
Actually,
Addie replied.
the brainiacs on Earth figured out how to make electricity using the solar winds.
Vinyl stared at the radio.
Solar winds? What the hey is that?
There was a pause, and when Addie spoke, she had a certain sheepishness in her tone.
I don't know the science behind it, to be honest. I mean, I read about it, but forgot, 'cause I'm just the girl holding the screwdriver. They hired me to build the thing, not understand its inner workings. All I know is that I wind the crank, and a boom with some big solar doohickey stretches out and makes more power.
It wasn't an easy image for Vinyl to grasp.
Where do you come up with this stuff?
I didn't.
Addie replied.
Some genius at NASA did.
Vinyl slumped.
Right, the space business.
Addie took on a lecturing tone.
You can keep trying, but you'll never find a flaw in my story.
No?
No.
Vinyl peered at the radio.
Then why are you in that ship in the first place?
Silence. After some time, Vinyl sat up and crossed her forelegs.
Shouldn't take that long to think up an origin story. Didn't you have it planned out like everything else?
It hurts, okay?
Vinyl blinked.
What do you mean, it hurts?
I can't go home, Vinyl.
Addie's voice cracked.
Even if I could, they're all dead. There's nothing to go home to.
Ears perked, Vinyl leaned over the radio.
I don't know everything.
Addie took a long, deep breath.
Some said it was terrorists. Others say that it was an accident. Who knows? All I know is that there was the virus, and they couldn't contain it.
Addie grew quiet. Vinyl lifted the radio and stared at it, waiting with bated breath. She fidgeted, then shifted.
Addie?
The radio crackled back to life.
Sorry, I've got this wicker doll. Mom brought it during one of her aid trips in Africa. Gave it to me when I was 3. She said it was meant to hold my guardian spirit. It represents Alapa.
Vinyl chewed her lip and held the radio close.
Who's Alapa?
A sniff rose from the speaker.
I'm not sure. I think she was supposed to be a moon goddess.
I see.
Another long, heart-wrenching pause.
I still remember the day Chicago went dark.
Chicago?
Another sniff.
Home.
Oh.
Vinyl tilted her head, thinking on the name. Her ears folded as she rolled her eyes. There went the mood.
Colcago.
What?
Colcago.
Vinyl set the radio down and shrugged.
If you're gonna make up names, at least try not to make them up after major cities.
Addie's pitch grew with her volume.
What the hell are you going to figure out that I'm not making this stuff up?
Vinyl glowered.
When are you gonna tell me what's really going on?
I've already told you!
Her shout pierced Vinyl's ears, prompting her to turn down the volume.
You know what? Forget it. I don't feel like talking anymore.
Addie!
Vinyl slammed a hoof on the table.
Come on, this is getting ridiculous! I've been entertaining you for a week now. You promised to tell me what's going on.
What do you want me to say?
Addie snapped back.
How do I prove something like this? I'm stuck here, Vinyl!
Vinyl threw up her hooves.
Stuck where?
In hell, okay? Or the next best thing.
Addie paused, her deep breaths coming through the speaker despite the lowered volume.
I can't do this right now. I need to go to bed anyway.
You can't dodge this forever.
Vinyl snarled. Static.
Addie?
She glanced from the speaker to her microphone.
Addie? You there?
Nothing. Vinyl slammed the microphones at the table and turned away, hooves crossed as she huffed. That pony was as stubborn as a mule, if not more so. She eyed the clock and reminded herself once again that she needed to fix it. A moment's calculation told her it was mid-afternoon. Being off tonight, she pondered the rest of her day. The kitchen still needed a lot of work before it could qualify as clean, but she wasn't in the mood for the effort. The radio static finally caught her attention. She promptly turned it off. Just like that, the apartment grew quiet. The silence thickened the air and pressed against her eardrums. Vinyl observed it, absorbed it, thought about it. Her eyes went to the radio, then to the empty spot at the table. The silence lingered. She threw back her head.
Damn it, it's too quiet!
Grumbling, she jerked her hooves and stomped for her bedroom. Her pack sat at the foot of her bed. She grabbed it and fished around inside. A few seconds of frustrated searching produced a small set of headphones and a walk Colt. Flopping onto the bed, she put on the headphones and hit the shuffle button. Synthesized beats filled her head. Vinyl focused on the music and let her mind wander. Minutes passed. The song ended, a new one started. Vinyl rolled over and stared at the ceiling. She watched the shadows creep. Her lips pursed, and she redoubled her attempts to focus only on the music. Another song started.
Oh, come on.
Vinyl sat up and pulled the headphones off her head, letting them drop to the floor. She kept that way for a while, forelegs wrapped around her knees as she stared at the foot of the bed. Her eyes shifted towards the window, the sunlight still streaming through the blinds. With a groan, she climbed out of bed and trudged back to the kitchen. She flicked on the radio and grabbed the microphone in both hooves.
Addie? Addie, you there?
Static met her ears. She waited a few seconds.
Come on, Addie, I'm sorry. Talk to me.
She tilted her head and perked her ear. Time passed. With a deep sigh, she leaned over the table, a hoof pressed to her cheek.
Addie, please. I'm really sorry, okay? Let me hear your voice.
Vinyl gazed at the radio, a sinking feeling in her gut. Slowly, she let her head drop to the table.
Talk to me. Please. I don't like being alone.
Nothing but static. Well, I guess now it was Vinyl's turn to become desperate. This just gets deeper with every chapter, and it's very intriguing. Anywho, let's get on to our comforting donators. Top donators are 630, BadassWaffle, Onlyonething, Ceru, Orion, IronSky, and Jessie Smith. Darkside, Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Rollins, Stu Hex, Sword Brother, Mordred, Omicron, Library, Winslife 9852, Will Chris, Twinkie, Ride Soul, Shadow Moon, Luigi 88, Chancer Quest, Big Smoke 369, Valcat, GGF, and many more awesome people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.